Good morning. This is Shawn Sandridge. Thank you so much for clicking onto the channel. So hit my like button, subscribe. Ooh, my like button. No, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell a friend about me. Just in case you didn't already know, you can find me on other social media platforms. Check me out on Periscope, which I was on last night, and I said hit me up on Twitter, which was lit. And you can check me out on IG. Same name, keeping it simple. So listen, I'm just gonna come in. I'm hoping not to stay too long talking to you guys, but we're gonna talk. Well, I'm gonna talk briefly about Kenya Moore, Real Housewives of Atlanta, and when smart women make bad choices. And one, I'm telling you, we had so much fun on Twitter last night. Now, I'm not a reviewer. I've done it, but I'm not consistent enough to be a reviewer. But in real time, I had a good old funky time, like Lovely T says, a good old funky time on Twitter, just giving my reactions as it appeared. So I think I'm going to do that again if I have an opportunity. My husband's out of town, so I was enjoying watching it real time. Normally, I don't watch it until after it's been recorded, but I had a good time watching it live and tweeting. It was super fun. So let's talk about Kenya briefly, and I think I want to talk about the dynamics that's going on between Kenya and Matt, and you know there was some things that was kind of revealing, and the dynamics of Kenya and Matt, and they are definitely a mismatched couple, and not because of the age. It's because there is immaturity on both sides, um, a lack of emotional self control, and on both sides, I would even say, because one, I'm not condoning what Matt is doing, breaking property and things like that, but I do understand that relationships are complicated, and what I would go for in my relationship is not necessarily what someone else would go for, and the same is true. I mean, I've seen relationships of my friends and such, and have shaken my head on trying to understand, why would he put up with it? Why would she put up with it? Why are they even together? Like, what is keeping them together? And I'm sure my friends, in fact, I know when my husband and I first started dating, um, I had friends of mine that just didn't see it. They didn't see it. They were like, hmm, of all the guys I've seen you with, I didn't make out that he would be the one. So I understand that. However, when it starts to become emotional and physical, and I don't even mean physical meaning hitting someone, I mean where the man is kicking and punching walls, or the woman is throwing things, it's just an unstable relationship that is really not going to stand the test of time without something escalating. And I had tweeted this, and I don't know if anybody caught it. And part of Matt's frustration is that Kenya has a mouth on her. Now, listen, be who you are, and have a mouth. But obviously, if you can't handle that kind of mouth, you should not be with that kind of woman. And I had tweeted two things. One thing that she said was that Matt, at one time, Matt was so, how did she say it? Matt was just happy to be in my presence. And I tweeted, that statement sounds more like a fan than a boyfriend, one. And then Matt said something to her, and listen to the response. He says, "You have a way of talking to me like I'm a farm animal." That is the statement he made. And she said, "So what's your point?" Now, how are you supposed to have a healthy relationship when someone is saying you are demeaning and you treat me badly, and you talk down to me. And she's made such a dismissive comment like, so what's your point? Like, and so what? So to me, just seeing that little snippet is a slice of what is going on behind the scenes. It's not going to last. So, for ladies, who have a sharp tongue, I think picking a man that can handle that, or who can spar with you if that's what you like, is probably more appropriate than someone who really can't handle it. And the truth be told, I don't know if anybody could handle being demeaned. I mean, if I was dating somebody who, in my interpretation, made me feel like a farm animal, I would just leave. I would be done. Um, but again, you have to make that decision. And for a man, don't put yourself in a situation where you're gonna catch a case. I mean, that's catching a case potential. You could it could escalate, and if you're already breeding an environment where there's some volatility going on, I don't see how it will just stand where it's at. Where I can't see it not getting worse. So, Kenya was saying that I could have buried you, which is, dropping hints about what's going on behind the scenes, but you're sticking around. And so smart women making bad choices. You let me know what you think about that, because it's troubling. And on a lighter note, Mama Joyce is really, really working hard for that peach. And I say give it to her. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time a family member got cast, along. It happened on New Jersey. So, and Beverly Hills. So why not? Why not let Atlanta have it? But do you remember the time, long time ago, when Mama Joyce was a woman of maturity and sage wisdom? I so remember when she would, that when her and Candy, no, I forget who wasn't getting along. Maybe it was Candy and Nene weren't getting along, and Mama Joyce was being the matriarch of the group, and just sitting there and just saying, about what you need to do. Well, fast forward, a couple years later, better lighting, little exposure, and Mama Joyce is not playing around. I think we're finally seeing the real Mama Joyce. I think we're finally seeing the real Mama Joyce. So, oh, and one last thing. Here's one thing I feel bad about Kenya, and that's because either by her own circumstances or just environment, she does not have a lot of good girlfriends. And her Aunt Lori has not been on the screen yet. And Aunt Lori has always been her mother figure. And do you think Aunt Lori even knows anything about Matt? Like, I don't even think she's even met Matt. Like, Aunt Lori is finding out about Matt the way we are, which is sad, because every woman needs a mature woman that has some sense about herself to really give you some insight about life. And I feel so bad because she doesn't have it. So, last season with the mother thing and Aunt Lori seemingly picking sides, I think that put a hiccup in their relationship, and she really needs some wisdom with this, and I think she would take it to heart. She may still do her own thing, because that's what you're gonna do as an adult, but I think she would really take to heart what her Aunt Lori would have to say. So what do you think about that? So that's all I have. Take care of yourself and each other, and I'm gonna go get myself ready. It's what time is it? It's almost 7. I got up at 5. Took the boy to wrestling with his other mates. So I got to get up and get the day started. talk to you soon. Bye.